All right, this is the part of the show where you viewers at home, hopefully you tweeted in some questions, you've been asking some questions in the chat, maybe you've been on the bloody Instagrams. I don't know what you're doing, but either way, hopefully we got some good questions for you here. Now, Prof, he's normally the guy that we put, to come up with the good ones, to find the good ones, to mine through the community. So
Had a rough day.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Because I'm giving it a skim read right now as well.
There's a question like just my question.
Okay.
Maybe we can ask other people this as well. But like, when you play official matches or CS in general, do you have like a specific like quirk or way that you want like some like pre-match rituals or during the game rituals? Like we saw Tizian, like he has his fruit, he has his watermelon. Then we see like Brokey, he's playing in the dark. You see other people like putting on shoes, taking off shoes. Like, what's the deal with you?
Honestly, I just have one thing, and it's like a superstition. I don't really do it a lot at home because it's more difficult. But when I was at LAN, honestly, every time before a game, I had to go and take a shit, and every time. Every time I did it, we won the game. But sometimes I can't do it, and honestly, I remember every time I didn't do it, we lost the game. So I'm gonna stick to it.
What do you do if you have like 3 games in the same day? Is that a problem?
Or
you go often? That's key.
No, I just go like before the first game. Like if it's a long day, cannot really count on it. But yeah, I do it before the first game of the day every time, especially at LANs.
I can't imagine what some of like I don't know if that was a thing for you when you were going to local lands and stuff. I remember some of the local lands I went to, like the toilets were fucking disgusting because it's like at a LAN cafe or something where it's just gamers, and they I'm having some flashbacks now to horrible toilets.
I was just telling you the story of like a local LAN in Split in Croatia, like the first CS:GO LAN that I attended, where it was like a super shitty cyber cafe thing, which had like one small toilet in the middle of everything, and someone took a shit and didn't even pull the fucking water. And that was amazing. So that was my first CS:GO LAN experience.
Oh dear.
Thank God for me, I didn't play a lot of local LAN events. I think I maybe played like 4 in my whole life. And honestly, the only one that I won was the one in Zagreb in Croatia. And I distinctly remember taking a shit right before the grand finals. So.
It worked, all right.
Now,
I want to keep it local because I think that's probably not a bad place. We have a question on Twitter from Blazing. He has 3 E's, Mr. Blazing. And he asks, who is the next up-and-coming Balkan young talent?
I'd say there are a lot of like up-and-coming talents in FPL that are like from the Balkans, like around like Kosovo, Albania, this area. Like I would say Rigon, Juan Flatro, quite a few of them. Like honestly, apart from them, I think like all of the younger up-and-coming talents that were playing in Serbia, I think they all switched to Valorant. And they're like grinding that game now because like the scene in Balkans in general is like really difficult to rise up and to get through it. Like I think FPL is basically the only way you're gonna get noticed nowadays, and I think the like Rigon, Juan Flatro, definitely 2 guys to keep an eye on.
Okay. Prof, is there anything here that because I'm skimming through and half of these questions are just asking about Nico, right? Like honestly, half of these questions that we've got next here are like, what is it like now that Nico's in the team? How does he fit in G2? It's not that these people, obviously, they're interested because that's the storyline that everybody's telling, right? But maybe we can dive in there a little bit. People seem to like have an impression that Nico's some kind of maniacal, fucking massive egoed guy that walks into a room and then he just sucks up all the attention and gets what he wants, right? What is the relationship with like Nico, right? You're his teammate now. You know his bloody cousin. Like, what is it like for people at home?
Right now, the relationship between us and like with him, like and the team in general is really good. I think we started off a bit difficult because he still had like a lot of his habits from like basically calling for the last 2 years. So he was like over speaking, like sometimes over calling and whatnot. But honestly, I think he understands what his role is and why he was brought to this team, and he's been fitting in like really, really well in the last month and a half. So I think it's been pretty great.
Okay, well that's good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like we ask the question, and the people at home ask the question. I'm just curious if the people when they write it, they go, "Yeah, next is going to go on to the show and talk shit about Nico." It's like what? It's like what? What? Like I wonder if they ask thinking that, right? Because obviously you're going to say nice things, or it wouldn't be your teammate. If shit wasn't working, Ocelot, I'm sure he'd be fixing that shit really quick.
Yeah.
What about this one? I always have a communication angle. When you boys are left and the Frenchies are dead, is it instantly into? I'm going to sound like such a cunt. Prof, what language?
Serbian.
Okay, is it because this is the thing? I'm going to get in so much trouble now. I spoke to Yanko about this, right? Because Nico has a Bosnian flag, but then I learned that like I don't know if I want to say it because then I'm going to get in trouble with like people. I'm not going to talk about it. It's like Nico is a Balkan flag, but he's Serbian.
Balkan flag.
Not Balkan flag, Bosnian flag, Balkan flag. See, I stumbled over myself here. This is always happening. Every time I talk about fucking Europe.
So scared of like inciting a new world.
No, because they get mad at me, man. They get mad. They actually genuinely get angry with it. He's not Serbian. He's fucking. And I'm like, but that's what Yanko told me.
That just to explain one thing, like half of these people that are commenting very angrily don't even know the facts. Like I see it all the time. People are like, no, he is his brother. No, he is his cousin. But no, actually, you in my country you use this term for this, and so I translated it into English to mean a different. It's the worst. Like half of the people don't know what they're talking about. So, but it is complicated. So
I just don't want to upset people.
Don't feel bad about it.
I don't know that like there's like politics in the region. Get to the
question. Like, do you go to Serbian?
Do you all speak Serbian when the Frenchies are dead?
Yes. Like depending on like Nico and Hunter, they do it a lot. Like for me, I don't really have a habit of speaking Serbian in general. Like for the last 5 years, I've been just speaking English nonstop all the time. And even my girlfriend, she's like we're speaking English together. So apart from my parents, I don't really speak Serbian to anyone.
Okay.
So I prefer to keep it in English every time. Like I'm in a like 2vx situation with one of them, but if like they're both alive and then they start speaking Serbian to me or something, then I just like I roll with it and we keep speaking.
Because my angle is, I don't know if you've heard it, people must have heard at this point, that I think that international teams, so you guys, do they fall into the mix, Prof?
I don't know.
Not really.
I don't know the rules anymore.
Let's not talk about it now.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. You're right. Fuck it. So we've gone over it too many times. Okay, we got any more questions for Mr. Nexa?
There are some questions about in-game leading. I'll just like rephrase it because when you started in-game leading, it's not like something that you initially wanted to do, especially back in Renegades. But then again with the crazy guys. What is your like? Are you set on being an in-game leader now? Are you like happy with the role? Are you still like open to, let's say Glaive is a free agent tomorrow and Ocelot just buys him to come to G2? Like, are you fine to play just like a normal player role? What's the deal with that?
Like if that would be an option, I'd definitely be fine to play a normal player role. Like if I think that like someone is better than me or can do a better job at IGLing than me, or it would be better for the team, I would like do like no matter what, like I would just accept it and do it. Like initially I never actually wanted to be an in-game leader. Like it just kind of kept falling into my lap over and over in every single team I was playing in. Like my initial role on the T side was like lurker, so in every team I would kind of go to, apart from Renegades, that was just a disaster. Like I would be this like secondary caller, like feed my IGL with information from like the other part of the map, and then eventually we would just like come to the problems. Like I had Esperanto for like over 2 years, and there were always like problems with him, like his attitude and everything, and he just like didn't want to work with like IGLs and whatever. And then like every time we were like removing an IGL, and people would just look at me and just tell me, yeah, you can do it, like, you know, you were secondary IGLing, you know, like step up, help the team, you know, like you can do it, so we can bring in someone with more firepower. And then like one time, yeah, okay, I'll do it, and then second time, okay, I'll do it, and then the third time, okay, I'll do it. And then like every time he just kind of kept coming back to me, and I just I got stuck with it. I accepted it, and I just kept rolling with it.
Hard to escape, isn't it? But you must enjoy leading when it's working, right? It feels good to call a strat and it fucking works.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think right here, right now, we've reached almost the end of the show. We got many questions left, Prof, or we call it?
I don't know.
I think
Does Striker have any?
I saw one question that I just was funny in my head just because I read it backwards. What it says actually is, what is the key to getting to tier 1 CS from tier 3? And I obviously read it the other way around. What is the key to getting from tier 1 CS to tier 3? But yeah, I guess that kind of a question.
I think it's mostly like about communication. I think everyone has like every team has these players who have like insane aim. They have the firepower. They have like these tools, but like it all comes down like to the system you create and the communication you have. Because I think this is like you have tier 2 teams and they have like all the same qualities as tier 1 teams, but I think just the communication is like not there. And once you like get this communication down and you can actually like play all your rounds like in a more like, let's say, defaulty way, and you can read the game and you can speak to each other, like communicate with your teammates, adjust, like make plays in the middle of the rounds, and not just have like things that are set from the beginning to the end, not just like call a strat and on 150 what you do on 120, what you do on 110, and like be robots. Like it'll get you to a decent level, but it'll never like make you like a true tier 1 team. So I think like once you get this like communication down, and with like international teams, it's way harder to do than like with teams that like speak like one language. So I think that's why we see like Navi, Astralis, they're doing really well, Vitality as well. And I think that's what was always the biggest struggle of international teams.
Clip it, send it to Striker in an email, send it to Pimp, get him to send me the money. That's all over. All right.
I have like 2 years or whatever it is.
One question, because you mentioned Esperanto, Otto as well, like your former teammates, both are free agents now. After the whole project, like after you and Hunter left, kind of went to shit. Let's be real. Both of them kind of big talents in different ways.
Yeah.
What do you think? Where could they land? What could be their next step in their careers?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Otto came into the team with like Sunny or someone like that. For Esperanto, I really hope that like someone just gives him a shot, because I know like the kid can be really, really good at the game, but I think he just needs like someone who will be like, like a parent to him. Like he basically just needs a father figure and someone to discipline him and like tell him that like you cannot behave in a certain way, and like that's one of the things I regret, is that like I never was that kind of a leader, like I was his in-game leader in game, but like I was not like his like leader outside of the game, like I didn't really teach him like how to behave properly or like help him out in that sort of way. And it's like one of the things I regret. But if someone is like willing to like give him a shot and maybe like teach him the proper way, like I know that like he has a lot of potential to be really good at the game.
We've gone full circle, boys. I was talking about the belt earlier in the show, and Nex was talking about the belt at the end of the show.
Or the carrot or whatever.
Or the carrot, the stick, the bloody wooden spoon. I'm sure we've all fucking copped something in our lives. All right. Let's wind this one down because I don't want to take up any more of Nex's time. We've hit 11 p.m. Next up, has Carlos come out here? Does he want you to get any memes in? Is there anything you need to say? Not need to, because I like giving this time if you want to say thank you to anybody or anything at all.
No, I just thank you guys for having me on the show. It was a pleasure.
All right, sweet. Thank you for joining us again. I think, was this the second time we've had? Is it the third? Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have got Katowice in a couple days' time. We have another show, Prof and Striker. I do believe we planned it for next Monday at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So that should be on the cards, in the cards, all over the cards. That poker guy. So many things just clicking tonight.
We might, if things pan out, we might get a guest that was no, I don't want to oversell it. It's not Nico or Simple. So let's just be clear about that. But one of the people that a lot of viewers wanted to have on the show, if everything pans out.
Okay, for next Monday. So keep that in the back of your pocket, everybody. And one of the things with all you guys who are like, get Boomich, get Simple, get Nico, get this guy. We ask all the people you want, right? They don't say anything. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. We have conflicts of schedules. That's the correct answer. That's what I was meant to say. Anyway, I'm dragging this one on. Goodbye, everybody. If you want to check out the audio-only options, anchor.fm/HLTV.org. Yes, no, yes, just HLTV.
Just
Anchor.fm/HLTV. The VOD will be up in 24 hours from now. We have another show next Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Nexa. Thank you for G2 for letting us have him this evening. And we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.